Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brad, and today I want to talk a little bit about a smattering of different things right now, just to get it all into one video. First thing I want to address is my opinion on Dan Bongino. So, as you guys know, I'm very into the political space. I just tend to enjoy it. I'm attracted to the drama and everything that's going on right now. I've been affected by the lockdowns. My business has taken a hit from that. I had to move to an online thing and develop my product, which I pretty much spent the year doing successfully and made a great product. So that was fine. And I also saw the riots. I saw the governors becoming exposed. I was living in New York City, downtown Manhattan, and I saw we went from one day literally being all about this lockdown shit and 15 days to slow the spread and trusting Cuomo and trusting Fauci and trusting all these bureaucrat scumbags to then immediately having that trust completely imploded when they allowed Black Lives Matter and Antifa to go in and literally destroy the city, riot, loot, burn, then go and tag up City Hall with kill white people, distribute literal flyers in front of my fucking apartment building that said, if you're white, you owe reparations or you're gonna get hurt, like some fucking mafioso tactic. And COVID just went out the fucking window for non-law abiding citizens, for cronies of the establishment, the useful idiots, the brown shirts, the Leninists, the people that will be lined up against the wall and shot as soon as the New World Order comes into power. They were allowed to riot and do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. So then after that, I was like, fuck Cuomo. He's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. And, things change. So, this basically led me to move up here and get away from it and, reshape everything and really kind of put me through a loop. So I'm very into this stuff. Started doing this research, and I listened to this guy, Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino, if you haven't heard his show, I encourage you to go watch it. The guy is awesome. Ton of respect for him. I hope he's doing well. He's got chemo coming up this next Tuesday, so send him some love and some prayers, and I'm praying for you, Dan, and I'm praying for your family, and I hope everything goes well with you, and thank you for your service. Here's my thoughts on Dan's show. You should watch Dan's show. Dan is coming from the perspective of, like, he's a tough guy. He's a Secret Service agent, ex-NYPD officer. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. He boxes. He does MMA. He's like a tough guy, He's like a real American, New York, East Coast kind of guy. And he's a Republican, and he talks about, his view on politics, and he does it with his own flavor. He's sort of like, in my eyes, he's kind of like, there's a political spectrum where you have the left, where you have, literal, like, hologram of the lowest IQ personality type possible, and that's the far left. And that's, like, sort of what they're aiming at, is just, like, this hologram of idiocy. And then you have the center left, where I would call, like, Tim Pool, the center left. He's someone that I would have a beer with and hang out with, and listen to his viewpoints and respect them and consider them because he has actual viewpoints. Then you have centrists like Ron Paul, his son, Rand Paul. Then you have, center right, slightly more closer to the center. You'd have like Ben Shapiro. You'd call him like a milk toast Republican, but Ben Shapiro's great too. Big fan of his. And then slightly right, maybe a bit, more right than him. You'd have Dan Bongino. And Dan Bongino, my overall view of him is like, I like listening to him because he's a tough guy. I'm not saying Ben Shapiro's not. He does jujitsu. He carries guns. He's kind of a badass too. He's an Orthodox Jew. He sticks with that. And he's, devout husband, father, Orthodox Jew. It's awesome. But he's a little more milquetoast, meaning he won't take as strong of a stance. He's more of a... Ben Shapiro is a lawyer. So he speaks in lawyer terms where, lawyers, they can argue both sides of the point real well. So that's Ben Shapiro. I love his show. Don't get me wrong. I love the business he's built. Love the Daily Wire. I love Matt Walsh. I love all those guys. I think they're awesome. I think their points really well taken. And I try to listen to the full thing. I listen to Tim Pool for my left stuff because anything further left than that is just a lie and a smear of Trump. You're just like, oh, Orange Man is bad and he was involved with Russia. And you're like, well, what about Hunter Biden? They're like, that never happened. so I can't listen to that shit. So Dan's a little bit further right than that. And then on the far end of things, I guess you could say the far end of things, you'd have, Alex Jones, who talks about, the cabal, and he's got his own platform entirely. Dan Bongino also, to give him credit, he made, I believe he either built it or he's a big reason why it's successful, Rumble, which is a video service that I'm using currently, and Parler, which is a great alternative to Facebook for conservatives. And, they don't have the budget that these companies do, so it's not as slick, but I encourage you to move over and migrate, or at least have a backup of your material on those servers, which is what I'm doing. I have my content, I'm re-uploading it to Rumble, and I have my blog that I'm rebuilding and growing as well. And by the way, side business note, always have your own mailing list and have your own traffic going to your own site that's hosted on an independent server. Okay? Really, there's a great book that I read a long time ago. It was a big mistake that I made by abandoning my blog and not putting a lot of work into it, called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. He said, long ago, never build your business on someone else's real estate. That goes for online too. Never build your online business, your following, your marketing funnel, your sales systems, and all that off of YouTube, Facebook, Google, because all that can go away. But your website is something that you pay for. You pay for the server. It's not to say that the server couldn't go all woke and be like, well, it's not really right, and big government puts its fucking hands in there and destroys it too. But it's less likely, you know what I mean? You got to just do things to insulate yourself, have contingency plans, and do your best in business. So that was a mistake I made. Anyway, on to Dan. I think that Dan, I like listening to his points, but very often when I'm listening to Dan, I'm like, this is just so obvious. Like, you're just simply laying out the minutia of these points. You're laying out the subtle little details of, like, he always acts all surprised, like, every day. He's like, wait a minute, Fauci's flip-flopping again? Yesterday you said that we didn't have to wear masks. Today you're saying wear masks? What? Laura, what is that? Paula, what is that? What is that, Dave? What is that? And then they're like, I don't know, Dan. He's like, me either. And meanwhile, I'm fairly certain that Dan does know, the true agenda behind this is something deeper. It has to do with an international crime syndicate where you have a globalist faction of people that are involved in all these different countries that are working together, and they're putting together this weird agenda to hurt the people of the earth so that they can put them in a state of panic and confusion, and then ultimately take up the resources so they can live like kings and you can live like serf. It's like an old feudalism type thing. They're trying to make you in a serfdom where we are living as serfs. You realize that, right? You work, you slave away. They pander to this welfare class where they're paying the welfare class off, and they're giving them, tax dollars from the Federal Reserve, fiat currency, just printed out. It's not gold. It's not backed by anything. It's backed by speculators on Wall Street and all this bullshit. And they just give away the money to the welfare state, and the Democrats say, oh, if you vote for us, you're going to keep getting this good welfare money, yo. Meanwhile, their schools are shit, the infrastructure is shit, the environment is shit for a lot of these people that are on welfare, and they have 3-4 generations of people on welfare that just vote Democrat, if they vote. Democrats are thieves, they're crooks. We all know this, liars. But they're part of this global, and it's not to say there aren't rhino Republicans, to be fair, that are part of that too. There are. I'd say like 98% of the government is fucked. So with that said, Dan kind of like, he won't go there. And I get it from a business perspective, like you want to keep your channel going and you don't want to have to fucking get banned. I've been banned multiple times. But, you just adapt and overcome. You figure out a way around it. You take your licks and you're like, fuck, all right, fine, I'll figure out another way around it. But never stop speaking the truth, man. That's my one issue with Dan Bongino is like, speak the truth, man. Talk about it. When I talk about this stuff, I try to put it in a way where I'm not scaring anybody. It's not like an unhinged, wild rant. But then again, like, at some point you got to talk about the truth here, dude. And people are so far behind. They just think like, oh, wait a minute. Like, it's amazing to me. I'll tell people like, hey, this stuff is scripted out. I can tell you what their next move is and what's coming next. They're going to come out with another lockdown, and then they're planning on releasing another bioweapon. COVID-19 was a bioweapon. We are clear on that by now, right? You at least know that. They're like, what? They're so far behind. They don't even know that, like, I mean, they literally, the majority of people don't even know news from like 6 months ago. It's really, really pathetic. I remember when COVID first came out, you know, COVID ME or whatever, Microsoft 98 version of COVID. Now they're coming out with Microsoft ME, COVID 21. I remember telling people, like, hey, you should be wearing masks. You shouldn't be at bars right now. Like, there's a pandemic inbound, and apparently it's killing a lot of people in Italy. And they're like, whatever. I'm like, dude, there's cases in the city. You're going to spread it around. And that was the best intel that I had at the time. They had no idea. Now, those same people are literally the same people, like, driving in their car along with a fucking mask on. And you're like, dude, you people are really stupid. Like, just put a little bit of effort in and read a goddamn article a day or something. Anyways, that's my opinion on Dan Bongino. I love him. I think he's great. I'm wishing him and his family well. We need him in the fight. He's a great, great patriot and a great purveyor of news and curator of news. And I love his perspective on things. Now, I just want to, because I got to do a few things. I'm going to put out some other videos later. But I want to talk about some preps to get ready leading into the next few months. So Joe Biden says, dark winter and all this shit. I think this is the season of false flags. So they're going to do some shit. Hopefully it's not severe, but I'd rather you guys be prepared. And like, the more people that are prepared, the less panic there's going to be. If you're prepared, you're going to be able to help out the people around you. If you're unprepared, you're going to panic and you're going to lean on them and they're going to panic too. It's going to create a panic cycle. Versus if you're prepared, you're going to be a source of calmness, a source of preparedness. You've been training, you've been thinking about this stuff, you have resources available for the people in your family, you know what to do, and that's way better. If there's a bunch of people that do that, we're in better shape. So I just want to talk about a few things. So one topic I want to talk about today is getting in shape. So for me, I'm making this because I need to get in fucking shape. I have like 35 pounds to lose. So here's how I do it, and here's how I've done it every single time that I've lost the weight. And this is the best diet plan for me, is I fast throughout the day. I do intermittent fasting. So I'll take my caffeine in the morning, which I'm about to show you my recommended brand. I take my different supplements, and then I drink a lot of water with lemon and wheatgrass throughout the day, which alkalinizes the blood and it lowers blood sugar levels and it stabilizes them. So when you don't have that spike of insulin and blood sugar going down and up and up and down and up and down, you have a pretty stable appetite level of suppression. And also, you're in a much better position to burn fat, because insulin levels and human growth hormone levels are inversely related. When insulin is low, growth hormone level is high, and you're burning fat. You're in prime hormonal state to burn fat. When insulin levels are high, it's because you just ate carbs, and then growth hormone levels go down, you're storing fat. And the body has like this, on a daily basis, and it has it on a macro basis. Once you get in your body gets the picture, like, oh, we're burning fat now. It'll rapidly burn fat for a period of time until it gets burnt out, and then that's a great time to bulk, and, well, not really bulk, but lift heavier weights, up the protein a bit, eat a little bit more calories, and you'll put on muscle really quickly at that point. It's just the way that it works in bodybuilding. So here's a couple of supplements that I really recommend for that. And these are just like the cheapest, easiest things you could use. This is Mio. I like Mio Energy. This is about $3 at your gas station, and it has a plethora of B vitamins. I believe it has B6 and B12 in it. Obviously not methylcobalamin, which is the best form, but cyanocobalamin, I believe. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, it is niacinamide, B3, B6, B12. It doesn't say what type It has guarana extract, ginseng extract, and then a bunch of other unhealthy shit in it too, of course, you know. But this is about $3, and this will literally last you about 2 weeks. So if you just literally, I'll just squirt it underneath my tongue, hold it there, get the best absorption of the B vitamins. It kills my appetite. I don't have an appetite. I've got energy for the day, and that's awesome. The next thing I recommend is this product called Diet Drops, and this has L-carnitine, L-arginine, both peptides. Carnitine helps mobilize fat storages, so it's going to help you burn fat faster. And then it has a bunch of other shit in it: ginger root, cinnamon bark extract. Cinnamon lowers blood sugar, stabilizes it, kills your appetite. So I highly recommend this. It's a little more expensive. It's about $25, and it'll last you a month. You know, if you put a couple drops under your tongue a day, maybe a month and a half. So it's a little more expensive, but if you consider how much you're saving on food and you fast all day, personally what I do is I have a bunch of weights in my room, and I'll just sit in my room and I'll work all day. I'll lift weights throughout the day, take little breaks from work, stretch, do some shadow boxing, or now I can actually spar with my roommate, which is great, do some training. And, I don't have to, yeah, I used to like eat several different meals throughout the day and then go for like long runs or swims all the time. And those are great. And I still, I will do like long runs again. I'll do sprints. And if I had a pool, I would do the swimming. And if I had my sauna up here, which I don't, I would be doing the sauna every day as well, because that helps boost fat loss significantly and boost your immune system and cardiovascular system. So that's one thing right there. The next thing is you should be taking, at very least, if you're not taking any supplements at all, at very least get this. Optimen, this is 150 tabs of this. It's really affordable. I think it's like $20 for this, for 150 tabs. And if you're just trying to get all your base level minerals and vitamins and some phyto nutrients and stuff, and this just has a lot of good stuff in it for $20. And if you just at least take one of these a day, you're going to at least have your bases covered. And I'll tell you, when I'm taking a multivitamin, I'm taking all my supplements, I feel way better than I do when I'm not. And of course, I have literally 3 drawers full of supplements behind me. So it's like, that obviously that's not the only thing I take. Another thing, show you a couple more of these cool little hacks. If you can afford it. So, we're going to go, obviously I'm just trying to show you the cheapest stuff. That's the best. Concentrated trace mineral drops. This is literally, I think, $4 to $5 on Amazon or anywhere that you get this. And this thing, literally, you only need about 2 to 3 drops of this a day. Realistically, I probably take maybe 7 or 8 drops of this a day in water. And it gives you just the full spectrum of minerals that you're not getting in your food. I guarantee you. You are not getting enough boron, chromium, iodine. Like, there's all these minerals that are missing from the soil that you're not getting. And if you just put this in your water, you're going to get all of them. You're going to get the full spectrum of minerals that you're not getting in the food. I guarantee you're not getting them. Even in the organic food, you're probably not getting the full spectrum of minerals that you need. So this is a really great thing to have. Next thing I recommend is organic lemon juice, not from concentrate. Get this. This is a little more expensive. I think I got a 2-pack of these for $8, and honestly, I burned through this like one of these a week. I just put some of this in filtered water and drink it throughout the day, and it makes the water taste amazing, and also it alkalinizes your blood, so you have better energy. It's going to help you lose weight. It's going to keep your blood sugar level more stable as well. Really excellent stuff. Very, very good for your health. If you can afford it, I think this is about $15. This is powdered wheatgrass, organic powdered wheatgrass stuff. And what I do is I take a little scoop of that and put that in the water too. And it doesn't taste great, but again, it's filled with phytonutrients. It's filled with a bunch of really good stuff. This is a superfood, so this is an excellent thing to mix in with your lemon water to help lose weight and be healthy. And it is pretty cheap. Frankly, I've had this for months. I admittedly don't do it enough as I should, but 1 pack of this will probably last me 3 to 4 months if I do this every day. Maybe 3 months, conservatively. So this is a cool one, too. It's a little more expensive. And then finally, This is a cool one. This is the most expensive thing on this list. This is called cardarine. This is a PPAR5 agonist. Very often sold as a SARM, and what it does is it basically, I mean, fuck man, I kind of forget what it does. It basically does a few things. It regulates your cholesterol level, so if you have if you're on steroids, or if you have bad cholesterol numbers, similar to the natural version of that function, red yeast rice, if you have bad cholesterol numbers, check out red yeast rice. That's going to have less side effects than this, but it's not going to have the other benefits I'm about to talk about. But red yeast rice will help you regulate your cholesterol. So if you have high LDL, low HDL, obviously the best thing to do is your diet. But if anything else, get that supplement. It's really good. It's not good to have fucked up cholesterol. That's a sure path to having a stroke or a heart attack or an aneurysm. Not good. But cardarine, this is a very cool one to cycle. This is expensive. This is about $65 from Enhanced Athlete. This is a company I got it from. You guys might remember my old videos from Enhanced Athlete before my channel got banned. And this stuff is amazing. This stuff literally will, say shit hits the fan, and you need to be able to run or, just walk for a really long distance. This stuff will, I shit you not, will quite literally double or triple your cardiovascular capabilities in like 3 to 4 hours. It's a performance-enhancing drug. It's GW501516. It's sold alongside SARMs. It's not a SARM. A SARM is a selective androgen receptor modulator, which is basically like a steroid without side effects. This is a PPAR5 agonist, different class, and it does different things. It has that great effect of reversing the HDL and LDL numbers. So if you're on steroids, this is a very important thing to be taking in addition to maybe red yeast rice. Or if you're if you're unhealthy, this would be a good thing to get the cholesterol. You'll literally have bad cholesterol one day. 3 days later, you go back to the doctor, take a blood test after taking this stuff, and the numbers will be way better. They'll be really impressed with that. Also, it does help with burning fat. But in terms of a prep, this is a pretty fucking great thing, man. Like, I'm admittedly way out of shape. For me, I'm in just awful shape. I still lift, I'm about to go for a walk. I need to start running again and shit. And I need to, I've been eating like a fucking pig for the past 4 months, just stress eating. And it's disgusting, I admit. But you'll see me very quickly lose the weight. You'll see me drop about 30 pounds in honestly about a month and a half. And the way that I do it is by fasting instead of doing what I'm doing, which is like eating 3 to 4 bullshit meals a day, snacking on cookies and, eating sweets and lots of carbs. When I fast and I cook my food at home and I eat healthy and I just cook like a steak with some vegetables, maybe a piece of bread at night, I'm in good shape. I have that, a lot of water, I take my supplements, I work out, I do my sauna, I really tune myself up pretty nicely quickly. But the reason I bring all this stuff up too is that, let's just theoretically say that shit does hit the fan, okay? I hope it doesn't. I do believe there's a good chance that there's going to be some type of hot war, some type of hot conflict that happens either between the left and the right, or the military and the citizens, or the police and the citizens. I don't know. I mean, I look at what's going on in Australia, and I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Americans are going to take too kindly to cops choke slamming women and stopping people from going to Thanksgiving. I mean, I just can't see it. I'm pissed off enough to do something about it. Not that I am, but I certainly am pretty fucking pissed, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people that are really fucking pissed. And as people start to get they get arrested, and shit hits the fan more, like, you're gonna have a situation where something does pop off. And if you're out of shape, this is a good thing to have. But also, like, lose the weight, start lifting, going running, doing swimming, doing the sauna. If you could do the sauna, that's great. And just be physically prepared. Be able to do some pull-ups. Oh, man, I'm like so shit at that right now. I used to bang out like 15 pull-ups or whatever, and now I'm like fucking 2-3 pull-ups at a time. It's pretty bad. Be able to run a few miles. being able to like run 5 miles. If you have like a big pack on your back and you can at least just shuffle along for like a couple miles, you're gonna be way ahead of people that are trying to like sling their shit along slowly. I want to be able to jog and get the fuck away. Or if God forbid somebody's chasing me, I want to be able to sprint and get the fuck out of there, you know what I mean? Or if you have to move around and, reposition, and duck and cover and get out of there and shit, like you have to be in good shape. And I'm certainly, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm in great shape. I'm not. But that's what I think that we should all be thinking about and doing. And, and then everything else that you're prepping for. You got to be storing water. I have an article I'm putting up on my blog today about water and car preps. So look out for those later. But you should be just getting prepped. That means getting physically fit. That means storing water, having the ability to filter the water, having food stored for you and your family, water stored for you and your family. And just start small. Like, even if you haven't done anything yet, just go to the store and get like a 4-gallon pack of water. It's like $3. Just go and just put it in the garage or store it in the closet and just like keep doing that. Like, do that every day. Just spend like $3, $4, $5. Get like a bag of beans, get a bag of rice. If you spend like $10 a day for the next month, you'll have a decent supply of water and survivable food. Just bags of rice, bags of dried beans, which aren't the easiest thing to cook, by the way, some spices, the ability to get some fire. And like, you just build up from there, but at least have something. Like, it really disappoints me how few people are even doing anything at all. I mean, really, it's really disappointing. It costs you a couple bucks a day, and you're not even like preparing at all for what could come. I mean, and very often those people will like look at the prepper and be like, oh, well, if something happens, I'm going to come to your house. And I'm going to be like, no, you're not. Like, dude, I'm telling you now what to do. Like, I just saw you spend $200 on a brand new pair of fucking Nikes. I don't buy Nikes. I don't buy anything. Dude, like, I don't spend money on shit. I spend money on my business. I spend money on ads. I spend money on my website. I spend money on preps. I spend money on, rent and these different things. I'm not fucking spending money on Nikes. You are. You should take that. Fuck the Nikes. You can't eat that. You can't drink that. That's not going to make you more self-sufficient. So what the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, you're not coming to my house, man. I'm telling you now. If you were prepping and there were holes in your preps and you were taking this seriously and you needed you wanted to bring your resources and come to my house and we can figure out a plan together, fuck yeah, that's a different story. But, don't be like just coming and planning on, or some people are like, well, I have a gun, bitch. I'm like, well, so do I. And, so do a lot of people that, I hang out with and shit. So, like, let's be honest here. You're not going to come to my house, okay? Prep for yourself and get ready for the future yourself, and we won't be having that conversation. I never want to have that conversation with you, but you're not listening. So, that's my 2 cents on all this. Go show Dan some love, show him some support, donate to his cause, donate to my cause. If you like these videos and you want to help me, regrow my brand back to where it was and way beyond, consider buying my products. So it's a 50-50, it's a 360 win. You're going to win big time, and I'm going to win too because it helps me, pay my rent and, buy food and shit like that and pay for my ads and pay for my business shit and help grow the business. So there's that, coaching, all bunch of stuff. Consider doing it, really helps out, and look forward to more big things coming from me in the future. Subscribe to my Rumble, which is where I'm double posting these videos on not just YouTube, but also Rumble. So when they inevitably ban this, it's not like I'm going to lose all my content like I did last time. And go to my blog, bradholiday.com, for more great content, written content, freebies, and lots of good stuff, okay? That's about it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. You guys are well. Your families are well. God bless. God bless America. Peace.